One of the most common performed facial surgeries that we do in cosmetics is the upper eyelid, but it goes by a bunch of different names. Some people call them hooded eyes, some people call them tired eyes, some people call them saggy eyes, some people call them droopy eyes. Did you know that a lot of those terms actually came about because there are different things going on, and I want to run you through that because that actually will affect the treatment that you need. So when you hear about sort of tired eyes, one of the most common things that comes about is hooded eyes. And a hooded eye is very specific. It actually doesn't involve the eyes at all. So if you say, I have hooded eyes, I want to get an upper eyelid lift. You actually don't. And I want you to pay attention, watch the side. The hooded eye comes out laterally, and the hooded eye I can actually recreate as my brow kind of falls down. Not even that much. I can push it down a little bit from all the way up here, and you can start to see it starts to get more hooded over here. That's because our brows start to fall. We fix that actually with a brow lift to actually pull that up. An eyelid lift won't do anything. So a hooded eye is actually treated with a brow lift. The next thing that we're going to hear is something called the droopy eye. Now, droopy eye is very specific, and I drew this very specifically. The eyelid actually is sitting halfway down over your eye itself, over your pupil. So it'd be like if you came in and it was just sitting like this. And if you have something like that, you actually don't have a skin-only problem, which is what an eyelid lift would fix. You actually have a muscle imbalance. Specifically, it typically involves a muscle called your levator. And we can fix that, and we fix that through something called a Ptosis repair. We do that at the same time as an eyelid lift, but it is a slightly different surgery, a little bit more complex, and complexity always a little bit more risk. And that's how you fix a droopy eye. A droopy eye is actually a Ptosis eye. Ptosis means sag. Now that's interesting because sometimes you're going to hear people say saggy eye, and you'll say, well, I thought you just said saggy eye was another word for Ptosis, but I thought you said droopy eye was Ptosis, and it's true. It's confusing. That's why we use medical words, but in a non-medical term, a droopy eye typically means that you've got a ptotic eye. What if you got a little bit of sag? So people can go, oh, I just have a little bit of sag, my makeup gets clumpy, I can't put it on right. 99 times out of 100, that is a true eyelid lift, where we just have a little bit of excess skin on that eyelid, we go in, we cut it out. Now what if you have all three? Not a problem. We typically do brow lift, upper eyelid lift, and we fix that levator muscle. And that is all the different terms for an eyelid lift.